Welcome to The Explainer. There's this problem that quietly undermines countless nonprofits, a breakdown in donor trust. It's a huge challenge, one that can really make or break an organization. But the solution often lies in something as simple and as powerful as communication. So, let's get into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number that should honestly be a huge alarm bell for any nonprofit out there: 60%. That's the percentage of first-time donors who give once and then they're gone. Just gone. I mean, think about that. For every 10 new supporters you bring in, 6 of them are walking away. That's not just a statistic, it's a massive leak in your fundraising bucket.
So why? Why the mass exodus? Well, the answer usually comes down to a really simple and thankfully very fixable problem: a breakdown in communication and trust. Donors just aren't feeling seen, they don't feel valued, and they definitely don't feel informed.
And that communication gap, it creates an even bigger problem. When donors feel disconnected, that trust just evaporates. And as you can see, barely half of Americans even have high trust in nonprofits to begin with. That's a tough hill to climb. But here's the good news. There's a really clear framework to fix this, to rebuild that trust, and to turn those one-time givers into lifelong supporters. It all starts the second a donation is made. And you have to see this not as the end of a transaction, but as the very beginning of a relationship. And as you're about to see, the clock is ticking. And when I say the clock is ticking, I mean it starts immediately. Research shows that a donor's excitement is at its absolute peak the moment they click donate. Your job is to capture that feeling. The sweet spot to send a personal thank you is within 24 hours, but the absolute hard deadline is 48. After that, that magic just starts to fade. And look, this isn't just about good manners. It's about incredible results. The payoff for acting fast is huge. Donors who get a personal thank you within that 48-hour window are a staggering 4 times more likely to give again. 4 times. That one simple action can literally be the difference between a one-time gift and a long-term supporter. Yeah, fundraising expert Penelope Burke, she doesn't mince words on this, and this quote really just says it all. A timely follow-up isn't optional, it is essential. Failing to do it, as she says, is destroying all the rest of your hard work. Wow, that's a powerful warning for any of us. So, what does this perfect first follow-up actually look like? Well, it's a simple, powerful 3-step recipe. First, an immediate, and I mean personal, thank you. Second, a specific impact statement that connects their gift to a real outcome. And third, a clear professional receipt to build that trust. Now, that second step, showing the impact, that's so critical. It really needs its own focus. So yeah, the thank you is the essential first step, but what comes next is what builds a lasting relationship. Donors are craving proof that their money actually made a difference. They don't just want to be told they helped, they want to see it. And this right here is the perfect example. On the left, you've got your donation helps children, which is nice, sure, but it's so vague. Now look at the right. Your $50 provided 3 weekend food bags for children in our program. Bam! Suddenly the impact is real, it's tangible. The donor can actually picture the result of their generosity, and that specificity is what builds a real connection. And the data totally backs this up. This is not just a nice-to-have thing. Nonprofits that share specific outcomes every quarter retain up to 40% more donors than the ones who just send a single report at the end of the year. Regular, tangible updates keep your mission alive in the donor's mind. Now, the most powerful way to show that impact isn't just through data, it's through stories. Research shows that stories are 22 times more memorable than raw statistics alone. A single compelling story about one person can have so much more impact than a chart showing thousands. So it's not about choosing between stories and data, it's about using them together. This quote sums it up perfectly. Your story is what inspires the action, creating that all-important emotional connection. Then your data comes in and builds the trust afterward, giving them the logical proof that their decision was a good one. It's a powerful 1-2 punch for building lasting relationships. All right, so you've shown your impact with stories and data. The next level is to make every single message feel personal and to maintain consistent, meaningful contact. This is where you move from just blasting out mass communications to building a genuine one-on-one relationship. And get this, donors are basically telling us this is what they want. Nearly half of them, 44%, say they would actually give more if the communication they got felt personal to them. They're literally spelling out what they need to become more invested in your cause. And this is not just some theory. Just look at this real-world example from the American Cancer Society. Back in 2022, they used machine learning that personalized their outreach. The results? They were incredible. Donation revenue jumped 17%, and their donor engagement rate shot up to nearly 70%. Personalization doesn't just feel good, it delivers real bottom-line results.
So how do you actually do it? Well, effective personalization really starts with segmenting your audience. You can group donors based on how recently they gave, how often they give, their average gift size, and, this is a big one, what specific programs they've shown interest in. This lets you send messages that truly resonate.
And if you're trying to figure out how to balance all this communication, there's a fantastic rule of thumb to follow. It's called the 3-to-1 rule. It's super simple. For every one time you ask for money, you should first share 3 pieces of value-driven content. That's your impact stories, your thank yous, your project updates. You're giving value way more than you're asking for it.
So what happens when you bring all of this together? The prompt thank yous, the powerful stories, the personalization? Well, the goal isn't just to raise more money. The real transformation is turning a list of individual donors into a thriving, dedicated community that is deeply invested in what you do. And the rewards of that transformation are just immense. I mean, we're talking about high-trust donors who are 5 times more likely to increase their giving over time. They have 3 times higher retention rates, and their average gifts are 2.5 times larger. Building trust is, without a doubt, the single best investment you can make.
And really, it all just comes back to this one central idea. As Professor Adrian Sargent, a top expert on donor retention, says, trust is the essential foundation of the philanthropic relationship. Without that foundation, everything else just crumbles. At the end of the day, building donor trust isn't some massive one-time campaign. It starts right now. It starts with your very next email, your next social media post, your next phone call. It's built through a series of small, consistent, and authentic actions. So we'll leave you with this question. What is the one message your donors truly need to hear from you this week to feel seen, to feel valued, and to feel trusted?